juts out the farthest. Okay. The mussel shells and sea otters. That rock over there. It's a lucky reel. That's a green cod. Okay, this is my fourth trip to Montana De Oro. I'm going to head to that peninsula out there because that juts out the farthest of any place in Montana De Oro, and it contacts the rocks that are out there. You know, it's a lot of rocks. It's a rocky bottom out there. That's why there's lots of rockfish in Montana De Oro. That's why all the fishing boats come this way. And this peninsula juts out into those structures. There's no sand in between them. So I'm hoping, even though it's probably just horrendously overfished, I'll be able to pull something out of there. And I'm here on a weekday, so there's nobody around. And hoping that's going to work to my advantage. But let's get rocking. Catch that lingcod. That's what we're here for. Still training that camera guy. And who let me on camera without my hat? That'd probably scare the children. Anyway, today's plan. So this is a nice view of Montana De Oro, and you can see where I parked and where I went to. The line ends right where I think I was fishing. As I said, this is like my fourth trip to Montana De Oro here, but I haven't been on this side, and I chose that because when you look at that map, you saw all that rocky bottom or the dark area out there. I assume that's a nice rocky bottom, and I'm hoping that'll make it easier for the rockfish to get on in, and easier for me to catch them. So now we're going to walk out here and start trying to evaluate these coves for which ones will be the best one to fish in. No water in that one. This is the one we saw on the way coming in. The structures are sticking straight out, and the waves are going straight down it. So it's not, I don't think there's going to be any fish down there either, too much surge. So we hiked on down another half mile, take a look at our first cove here. And then you can see that it's kind of shallow, and the waves are going right down it too. Okay, here we are. This is the peninsula I'm going to work for a little while. I think I'll head over there. Although we haven't looked at the whole thing. See, just like the last one, the waves are coming straight at the structures that are there. So there's no structure kind of giving protection to another one. There was a little rock out there, it looked like, but you can't get out to it. So a lot of sand, too shallow, too much surge. Man, talk about awesome. That's why it's a state park. So easy to walk across, of course, compared to my coves, where it usually goes. It's a pile of oyster shells. I mean, mussel shells, and they're very big. And you ask yourself, why does the ocean coagulate things like this? I mean, it's perfectly separated into one type of material. Very interesting. And that just didn't happen overnight, you know. It's just where the mussel shells end up. Nature's an odd place. Leaves you pondering. Oh, of course, sea otters. Sea otters, sea otters. That's who's eating those fat mussels, and they're eating them right out there and dropping them in the same place. And so we're experiencing the same thing. Good. I'm glad the sea otters are eating mussels, because, well, actually, I really haven't tried them. I mean, they just don't look appetizing. Clams look appetizing. I don't know why mussels don't. Well, I said we worked that little edge right there. At least go take a look at it. Gonna make some nice, beautiful filming. Hopefully I'll catch a nice fish here. I like to catch a fish in Montana De Oro. And I've caught little ones, but nothing like took home. You know, I always feel like I need to keep it. The swells are a little bigger than I was hoping for. It said one or two. But you can see, that's not a 1 foot swell. That's a surfable swell. You're down at the rock. Very nice. I want to work that edge right there. Yeah, with the water breaking right down, there's really no point. It's kind of sad. So, maybe I go to the other side. I get back up on the trail, and we go over there. Because that rock right there might be blocking that swell. And then it might be deep enough behind it, so that's what I'm figuring. Head back up on the trail, go over to the other side here with that rock over there, hopefully blocking the swell a little bit. Maybe there's some depth behind it. That would be great. Let's go do it. At least we're going to get some exercise today. Wasn't able to get down to the spot where I wanted to. I'm about a half mile above where I was. Looking at this spot here, we're going to take a look down there. Yeah, it's a lot calmer down here, and you see those structures right out there kind of forming a little block, so we're just going to work our way over to right there. So standing right there, just to the left, there's a little channel of water's flowing through. And I was about to cast out when I kind of noticed there's a blue hole down there, and it's kind of covered by that rock there you see sticking out. So I decided that's where I'm going to start the fishing, and I just let it drop right down inside there. This is virtually real time. I was there probably 2 minutes before I caught this fish. All right, what the hell we got here? I believe we have ourselves a nice, legal Cabazon. Legal Cabazon, I think. Yo. Cabazons are just really pretty fish, and so tasty. Beautiful blue meat. I'm going to fry this up with what I believe are the KFC spices. That's right, KFC'd Cabazon. About time I caught one, Jesus. So you catch a fish, and quite literally out of the blue, or in this case the gray, comes Mr. Seagull looking for a little lunch. I just got this new reel right here. Came 2 days ago. It's like 40 bucks. My other one just didn't last that long. I buy cheap crap, I'm sorry. Anyway, this is my new reel. And I just got it a couple days ago, and that was the first time I actually ever put it in water. So apparently it's a lucky reel. I haven't caught fish for a while. Put the thing in the water and got one. Very nice. First cast on my new reel, I get a keeper Cabazon with blue meat. Very nice looking. Okay, heading back to my car, and then we're going to do a little exploring and try to get to the other side of the reef over there. We caught that nice 15.5-inch Cabazon, blue meat, got it bled out. pretty darn happy about that. And so we're going to the other side of Pirates Cove, or I can't remember the name of it. I'll remember the name later. I always call it Pirates Cove. It's not. That's over at Shell Beach or something like that. Okay, so Cabazon's gonna be delicious. Oh yeah, Cabba-labba-ding dong. Been a while. My God, I was thinking. I mean, I caught Cabazons every time I went to the South Jetty. I've been out there 3 times and haven't seen one since. Oh. So the second part of today's plan was to go over and explore an area I was trying to get to before. So I'm going to go back to the truck here, and I moved my truck to this little parking lot right here and hiked over this dune and check out this reef right out here. And that's because I had gone to Hazards, a little hike down there about twice or so, and I caught a couple fish, and it's good fishing out there. But you can only get so far, and the only way to get to the other area south of it is to hike over the dune. So that was part of the goal today. Gee, looks like dog prints and no human prints. It's like a mother and a puppy. Coyote. We were over there. Now we hike all the way over to this side, across the cove there, Spooner's Cove. Been some spooning out here back in the 1800s. And now we're in this little area. A sailing ship. So we hiked down to the first set of reefs and hiked as far north as we could, and I got stopped again. There's still another set of reefs beyond that I couldn't get to, which I'm going to have to try pretty soon. So another adventure yet to come in Montana De Oro. But I did work this area, which was very nice. I saw that little cab hole, and I didn't get anything there. But then I decided I'm going to cast out to that rock right out there. You can see that looks pretty good, nice and calm. Must be something right in front of it. I didn't quite land where I wanted to, but I decided to let it sit for a little while, and then I did. Opened no bites, so I decided I'm going to reel it in. While I was waiting for a bite, I noticed that rock right in front of me had a kind of a deep hole right in front of it, blue spot, and so I decided I'm just going to bring that bait back and let it drop right down in that hole. So that's what I did. Those are bites that I started getting almost immediately. Then about a minute later, I get this nice tug. But I was just too excited, and I pulled before I knew he really didn't have it in his mouth. He's got to wait till that pull. So I decided to give it a try again, and threw that bait back out in that hole. I started getting bites again right away, but I was determined to wait till I have that good pull, so just let him keep nibbling. Kind of reminded me of the way a jack smelt bites, but a little harder. And then the hit stopped, and I figured, I lost it, because usually, third time is not a charm in fishing. I decided to go ahead, change my bait, and give it another try. And then wham, he takes it. Nice to catch the lingcod from shore. Look at that baby. There we go. Nice ling from shore. Right there. Caught that thing 15 inches or so. It's got lots of nice color too, but it just won't pose for me, so I tried, but we had to get it back in the water. Anyway, let's get him back in the water. Uh-oh. Wasn't a keeper, but it was a lingcod. And that's 2 fish on this thing. I can always catch me like 1 more, maybe. Of course, I'm jinxing myself as soon as I say that. So we can catch a real lingcod. Apparently my buddy the seagull heard the news, came over to congratulate me or see if I left a piece of squid out, perhaps. No expert, but I have learned that the most important cut here is, for me, is right behind that fin right there. And you want to cut it at a nice angle towards that gill right there, and then follow that in towards the head, because that's where most of your meat is. 2/3 of the meat on a rockfish is above the spine, and 2/3 of that is towards the head right there. And then I like to kind of unzip the skin there with just a little tip of my knife. And then I work my way down to the tail, and at that point I'll cut all the way through as close to the spine and bones as I can. There's not a lot of meat down there, so you know, if you're inaccurate, it's no problem. And then I work back the knife like I'm doing right there, real close to the ribs, as close as you can. Just be real patient, scrape it, and that way you can maximize the amount of meat you get, because they're not big fish. And see, right there at the head, again, there's a lot of meat right there. That's why I was careful to be close to the spine and cut into that head. That's my tips on filleting. In this case, since it's a cabalaba ding dong, I'm going to keep the whole thing, the fillets attached to the body, because that's the law in California. At least until you get home. Sadly, that doesn't leave much for the seagulls. I like to leave as much as I can of a carcass at the beach, but I supplemented their take with some thawed out squid that I had, so everybody was happy. Okay, we made it. Caught us 2 fish out here in Montana De Oro. Caught a lingcod, caught a cabazon, which I'm going to take home and eat. The lingcod wasn't big enough. Probably just saw my seagulls have a little fun, and it's just beautiful. Overcast day, late August. Love it. Just be warned that my 11 herbs and spices are not the ones I've seen currently on the web. They're ones I learned years ago, and I'm not even quite sure what article it was. I couldn't find it, but these are mine. And what they usually don't include is savory. And they have sage, but not as much as I put in. So the first thing you're going to need is a cup of buttermilk and you want to put your slices in there. If it was chicken, you'd put them in for like 4 hours. These you only have about an hour. Go clean your gear and come back. And these are my 11 herbs and spices: sage, savory, black pepper, rosemary, thyme, marjoren, however you say that, and paprika, white pepper, and celery salt, onion powder, and garlic powder. And notice how little you use. That's like back in the 60s. They didn't use a lot of onion and garlic powder. And then I put that all in 2 cups of flour. So you want to get them in there and really work on putting getting the flour to stick to it, roll it around, get all the wet spots off, and then shake it up real good and put that in the refrigerator. And again, if it was KFC, they'd probably do this for 8 hours and shake it a number of times, if I remember correctly. This is my chicken smolts I always use for frying. Get it out of chicken thighs I make. I should do that recipe sometime. And then I like to mix that with corn oil. And you want to get this up to 365 degrees at least. It's important to keep your oil as hot as you can. And then bring your pieces out and shake them off real well and put them on in the fryer. You can really hear them start to crackle now. It's kind of, they're talking, you know they're about done. About 3 minutes in, time to turn them. As I said before, the fish is done when it hits about 144, but if it gets to 160, it's not going to kill you. And does the color and texture of the breading look familiar? Looks like a tasty KFC'd Cabazon to me. Perfect.